The Grand Theft Auto series is no stranger to iconic characters, and Jason Duvall will be no exception. Just by looking at him, we could say he's around late 20s, early 30s, but that's just assumption. Who knows? Maybe he's 40, 50, but if I had to guess, I'd say early 30s, late 20s. Immediately, from Rockstar's page, they tell us he grew up around crooks. You know, the criminal life ain't nothing new to him. It ain't nothing new to him. He grew up around it. And we also know he has a military background. We may get some flashbacks of him in the military. It might take us to Iraq. Who knows? That would be something interesting to see. But that doesn't seem like something Rockstar would do, but that would be something cool to see. But we know he has a military background. Killing is not something it's not something too crazy for his character. You know, he may already be desensitized to killing and violence and whatever just from his time in the military. We know he stays in the Florida Keys, or the fictional Florida Keys, working for Brian Heder. As we can tell by his hat, we see he has the Brian Hedder's Boatworks and Marina hat, which is just a laundering scheme. What he really does is he works as a drug runner, as we can see in other screenshots and trailers. He works as a drug runner for Brian Heder. And we also know from the description and trailer 2 that he lives rent-free in Brian Hedder's house. So Brian Heder could be some sort of a father figure to Jason. We also know from his description and another character's description that his best friend is Cal Hampton. I'm assuming this character will just work as a comedic, kind of maybe tutorial type character, like, oh, don't forget to make sure your gun's loaded, or lock your car, and introduce new mechanics through conversation with that character. But we can see, at least in the earlier game, we're gonna see the two together a lot, because of course that's his best friend. We also see them on the boat together, fishing, in the bar, and I'm sure Cal Hampton is just gonna be a Roman type character to Jason. We immediately see in his description that he wants the easy life, meaning the criminal life isn't really for him. He doesn't really want to stay in this criminal lifestyle, but it's almost like he was born into it. It's his destiny to be in this type of lifestyle. And we see one of his quotes immediately is, "If anything happens, I'm right behind you," which means loyalty is really big with Jason. I mean, Jason was in the military, so I would assume loyalty would be huge when it comes to him, and most of the Grand Theft Auto characters are big on loyalty. We see a description here saying Lucia could be the best thing or the worst thing that's ever happened to Jason, which makes me think he wants out of this criminal lifestyle, but Lucia is keeping him in. Lucia is keeping him chained to this criminal lifestyle. If we look at this little boomerang or screenshot, we see Lucia's holding him and he's protecting her, but behind him she has a gun right behind his back, which could lead to some interpretation of distrust. So who knows, Lucia might be the reckless, crazy one that keeps getting him into trouble, while Jason is actively trying to get out of this lifestyle and find a normal life. Now, I've saw a lot of theories saying Jason might be a cop, and we see a screenshot of him wearing a bulletproof type of vest. We see in a trailer clip of someone in a body cam uniform and cops busting into the house. It kind of looks like Jason is a part of that cop squad. Now that doesn't make sense to me at all. I don't think that theory is true. It wouldn't make sense if they make the playable character some type of cop or undercover agent or anything. It just doesn't make sense to me and from what we know about this character. Now, it's highly speculated that this character is played by Dylan Rourke. I can barely say that name, but it is highly speculated that he is played by this Dylan actor. Now, there's a really good video made by Jetro, I'll put in the link in the description, that I think perfectly explains how people have came to this assumption of Dylan playing Jason. Obviously, we won't know until the game actually comes out. Now, my thoughts and opinions, I think Jason will be iconic. I think he's gonna be an Arthur Morgan type character. We see in certain clips and trailers and screenshots that he looks really big and buff, and then others he looks kind of scrawny or just normal sized, and I think that really shows that the working out mechanic that we saw in San Andreas may return, and you're gonna have to keep his body athletic and worked out, and you might have to actively have to work out to keep his body maintained. But who knows, maybe Grand Theft Auto just hasn't decided what they want this character to look like, because if we see Jason from trailer 1 to trailer 2, almost completely different characters. So Rockstar may have not known when publishing trailer 1 what they really wanted this character to be presented as. Now there's a lot of leaks and rumors we could get into, but I want to keep this video 100% confirmed things, and that's basically it. So stay tuned.